Hello, everybody. Good evening and welcome to EduTALK. EduTALK is a virtual talk show created out of the need for a global learning community. And we focus on topics in education that directly impact Caribbean nations and diaspora nationals working across the globe. EduTALK is featured on Tuesdays at 8 p.m. And we have with us this evening our wonderful guest. She is Miss Phoebe Browne, and she is the founder and director and president of Possibility Hand Inc. And I have the great pleasure of meeting her in Grenada and talking to her and learning more about her organization while we travel around the island of Grenada, which is the Spice Island of the West Indies. Spice Island. Okay. Welcome to EduTalk, Miss Browne. Good to have you on.
Thank you very much for having me, Mr. Dice.
Yes. So, you have a nonprofit. It's called Possibilities Hand, and we want Possibility Hand Inc. I keep on living off the ink. The nonprofit or charitable organization in Grenada. It's primarily in Grenada right now, and you work with rehabilitation, and you're going to explain a little bit more about that. But how did you come up with the idea of this Possibilities Hand Inc.?
Okay. So, as a child growing up, I observed my parents share whatever it is that they have, right? And they often purchase school supplies for children. They would give people things that sometimes they would have to go and source for themselves. I questioned why to myself, but later on, as I grew and become an adult, I realized the reason for that. And I decided not just to do similar or more, but to try to bring a solution to the problem, right? And so that's where Possibilities Hand Inc. really came from.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you started this just this year, earlier this year, and you organize your team, having your directors. Tell us about the organization of your team and who are involved in your structure.
Okay, so originally 7 years ago, my daughter and I would have begun. And in December of last year, based on the needs that we were seeing and how, wide it is, because we were not only giving to our parish, we were giving across Grenada, right? And so then we decided that we want to make this thing official so
Yeah.
we can make it bigger to be able to get more people on board, to reach more people within the state, and not only the state, but across the Caribbean and the world as far as Possibilities and Inc. is needed. All right, so we have some stakeholders on board as directors. We have an economist, we have a lawyer, we have an inspector of the police, we have a prison officer, we have a doctor, a businessman, somebody who is into administration, so an administrative person, and we have a next person. In all, we have 9 directors,
Okay.
right?
Mm-hmm.
25 members in all, including directors,
Yeah. Wow,
right? And
it's a lot. It's a lot to start with. Yeah, go on.
right, so we were founded May the 9th this year and officially launched on the 7th of July.
Okay. Okay, good, good, good. So now people are aware of Possibilities Hand Inc. and the structure and who are involved. Give us a little bit more about the work of Possibilities Hand Inc. Like what sort of work will you would incorporate in it and lead?
Okay, so the foundation has 3 arms. One is community engagement, the other is Possibilities Club, and the third is a rehabilitation center and holding station. So the community engagement have different committees underneath it. One is the mental hospital outreach team. So they would go and engage with patients at the mental hospital. Upon the release, They would then be recommended, referrals will be given, documentation, etc., that is needed to the rehabilitation center. We also have a team that will be going to the prison, and the prison would, in terms of our people, meeting them, greeting them, finding out, how they're doing, interacting with them on a one-on-one basis, and encouraging them that even after they come out of the prison, that they can make a difference in society, they can fit in, but we are willing to help them, providing that they are interested. So we're not just taking people, but those who sincerely mean that they want to be reintegrated into society, right? We also be having a team that goes out into the streets, meeting with persons on the block. So they're not necessarily homeless, but they are on the block because they're not employed, but they get themselves involved in drugs. Either they consume it. We may interact with those who are the drug pushers themselves, right? And that we come into contact with that are interested in being reintegrated and living out their best lives. We also have a team that goes into different houses, interact with family, house owners, and the other occupants of the house. And in doing so, we would encounter persons who are depressed, persons who have traumatic situations, different forms of abuse, whatever it might be. And we will also let them know of the option that they can come to the rehabilitation center and holding station, mainly the holding station, because the holding station caters to the needs of those who have not been a patient at the mental hospital, the prison, or on substance, but they are in need of some sort of help, right? Of the community engagement is also to interact with persons who are vulnerable. They are unable to work for whatever is the circumstance, and they're in need of help. These individuals, we intend to provide monthly support in form of groceries and assistance to, payment of utility bills and so, right? So there's criteria that they would have to meet that will determine that they're unable to work. We'll also be having that community engagement fundraising committee and a public awareness committee, right? So that takes care of community engagement. This club deals with students within the schools, right? We'll be having a club quite similar to Red Cross and cadets and so, but our main focus will be the students who are the bullies. The students who seems to be unsettled, those who seems to be the troublemakers. We want to take them and work with them. The Possibilities Club will be split into two, right? It's two, but they're all doing both of it. One of it is deals with programs that would help identify to the schoolmates, the principal, teachers, and stuff like that. All right. So identify the cause. What if it's a home issue, if it's a personal issue, whatever it is, we're going to help identify it and bring a solution to it. Right. And we're going to give them different life skills, and so that would help them, because they need to understand that what they are doing now can affect them later, because they can then, escalate and become a nuisance to society. And so we are trying to prevent them from being like that. We want them to enjoy life at its best. Second part to the Possibilities Club is skills. So we'll be giving them through their schools now. We can only make suggestions on a broad sense, but we want the schools to identify a craft item that they can make from scratch and have ready for market, for sale. We're looking at doing that because, yes, apart from the academics, there's also skills, and it's also good to have both. And just in the case that they are not interested in the academic side of education, then they have a craft, a skill, something that they can use to make money, right? Now, at the end of an academic year, all of the schools that are participating will then meet for a week of activities. There'll be symposiums, exhibitions, different things that they can come together. They will meet each other, share, and as well as learn and get their products sold.
Right?
Now, the third part is the rehabilitation center and holding station. So we have already identified that we have referrals from the mental hospital, referrals from the prison, substance abusers. The holding station has two parts. One that deals with the adults, which I would have briefly mentioned previously.
Mhm.
And the fifth will be the juvenile care. The juvenile care is broken into two parts. One that deals with students who have been suspended, and so we're going to take them in again for the duration of the suspension. We're going to work with them. We're going to do similar to the program of possibilities and possibilities club, in that we're going to identify the cause of the situation, bring a solution, and even after they are finished, like the suspension period is over, we're going to still work with them, interact with them to ensure that they are improving. And the second part to the juvenile care will be for students who have experienced some sort of traumatic situation, abuse, neglect, whatever it is. But it would not be for a long time. It will only be for like 1 month. And thereafter, we will be working with them because they're of school age and we need them to be educated properly.
This is a very comprehensive way of looking at possibilities for people.
Now, for the other 4 areas mentioned on the that would be a 2-year
I think we're having some,
program.
yeah.
And the intention is, I'm not hearing you quite well. It seems like you're coming and going.
Yes, the connection is a little bit poor every now and then. I was saying that it's very comprehensive, the program that you put together for it's a holistic approach to development.
Yes, yes, it is. And so the 2-year program caters to that holistic approach because our intention is that when a person has graduated from our institution, they
Right.
should have a 9.99% rehabilitation within themselves, that they will not repeat on any substance to the mental hospital or to the prison. Because oftentimes, what we have observed treated and then return again after a period of time, quite similar to the prison. You'd have people being released after serving their time, the next offense, and is being placed back at the prison,
Yeah.
right? And quite substance abuse persons tend to repeat, and be prolonged in their situation. So our mission is to work with people while decreasing the statistical rate of whatever it is across the board.
Yeah. This is a little bit about the name itself, Possibilities Hand. Because what I'm hearing, and I think others will have this idea of it, which is rehabilitation and help, and charity, help, organization for people to be back on their feet again, or to do some social services. It has to do with social services. So what's the philosophy or idea behind the name Possibilities Hand?
Okay. So within the 2 years, they'll be going through a program. It's first to begin, it's a rigorous entry process. It wouldn't be that they're just coming in because they're saying that they're interested. We first need to know that they are interested in their reintegration, right? Now, the first part deals with the program where they have to identify and acknowledge where they are at, who they are first, right? Now, once we get them through that process, there is a second part of the program where we are going to look with what it is that they have in their hands. What do they like to do? What's the highest level of education that they would have completed? And we are going to use their reality and identify the one that is most achievable out of all, that is their possibilities. And we are going to present our hand to reach them in achieving it, right? So it means that if they need to go back to school, we're providing scholarships from CXC level,
Yes.
skills in terms of, if you want to be a plumber, hairdresser, whatever it is they're interested in, we are going to assess it, and then we are going to get them to moving from there into a job placement, or if it's that they're going to be self-employed, and then we are going to help them get their new living arrangement, either they're to go back to their home, but if their home is a trigger and a problem, possibilities hand itself deals with what it is that they have, what is their passion. We're not going to say, okay, based on your age, it's best that you do this. We're going to help them live their best life by using what it is that they have presented and matching them to get it.
Yes, yes, yes. It's powerful. How are you funding it? What's your source that you're thinking of for funding? And if you're affiliated with any government entry or entity to provide some form of monetary funds, because this is quite a huge development that you're providing.
Okay, so we do have a fundraising committee, and we have set 4 major fundraising activities throughout the year. Our first fundraising activity would be that of a gala, and it's already set for November the 15th of this year.
Okay.
The second one, we have a concert for next year. The date, it's in February. We also have a fun day. The date for that has not yet been set, but it's sometime in June. And we have a luncheon. The luncheon is set for August, right? We also have a back to school drive, which is for August, but it will not clash because we have different committees that will be working on that. Now, apart from that, we have sent letters to 3 different ministries requesting a meeting. We have received response from 2 of the emails, and 1 is pending. Now, our intention is to communicate with the ministry that is responsible. So we fall under social development as a non-profit organization, as well as to interact with the schools. We have to meet with the Ministry of Education, and we also send it to our next ministry just for that support and awareness because they're relative, right? Now we have sent letters out for donation to different business places, and we are also in the process of preparing more. So those letters that we sent were sent out last week because we were only launched the 7th of July, right? But we know that our carnival is in August, and so a lot of activities have been happening. So very soon we'll be making some phone calls to follow up on the letters that were sent out. Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. That's very interesting. All right, we're winding down. What is it that you want people to take away from this? Because for me, and you can think about it, the answer to this. Because for me, I am looking at it as something that any country can incorporate this model that you created on your own and put it into social development for that country. Any island, any country, no matter how big or small a country is, that they can put it in their model for social development. I'm even looking at how students are being properly educated, and education is not based only on the subjects that they are being taught, but that they learn to socialize and they learn to govern themselves in a very modest and socially acceptable way, that they're not hurting others and they're providing a skill for society, that they don't have to depend on anybody else. They're self-reliant. I'm even looking at rehabilitation that you're having there as a system to get, if somebody falls on the way, growing up and so on, and make bad decisions, then they can be rehabilitated in society to become a part of what they call it, a booming citizenry that contributes positively to the society and the social development, the social order. What do you want people to get from this that you are creating?
That no matter what situation a person would have found themselves in, whatever unfortunate situation, that there is hope. Sometimes people want to come out, but because of stigma, they're, struggling in their situation still, because oftentimes family tend to abandon their own relatives because, they're embarrassed of the situation, right? And so then the relative then tends to fend on their own and just repeat the same situation over and over. Now, as a nonprofit organization, part of our articles of incorporation and our bylaws has made it open that we are able to be in other countries across the Caribbean and the international, right? Now, so if anyone of your viewers are listening, they can reach out to me. They can reach out to the organization. We are fully registered on all of that. And we can work together. We can partner and make this a reality across the world. Because we're interested in, reintegrating.
Yeah, most definitely.
I mean, there's many more to say about the Foundation Center. They're going to be placed in our family, right? And that is because we have seen that many persons have been replaced and they can interact with that individuality, and the psychologists, etc. there, but everyone has their role to play, right? And there's many more, but due to time and all of that, we have to keep it within that reasonable, right? So
yes.
there's much, like, for example, you have my information, my contact. So the number is 1473405 hand. That's HAND 4263. The email address that your viewers can reach us at is possibilities. No, possibilities is spelled POSSIBILITYSHANDINC at gmail.com. So that's possibilitieshandinc@gmail.com. Our website is being constructed at this moment, but it's going to be GND possibilitieshandinc.com.
Yeah, and we have those in the chat, in our YouTube video chat. So
Okay.
yeah, they will get that information. And if you need any information, don't hesitate to reach out, everybody. It's a wonderful work that is taking place in Grenada. I happened to accidentally become a part of it. The workings of Miss Brown here, and the quality. I mean, this is really good. We talk about innovation and community development, as well as country. It's country development, community development, and people, having people at the forefront of it. It's very good. Thank you so much for being on EduTalk, Miss Brown, and we will definitely keep in touch, definitely follow up, and highlight as these events that you have coming up. We will get you on to share your ideas and get some of your directors on as well to share some of the programs that they're working on as well. Thank you so much for being on EduTalk. Everyone, please visit our website at edusolutionsintl.org. Yes, edusolutionsintl.org for more information, or write to us at edusolutionsintl@gmail.com. That's edusolutionsintl@gmail.com. And you want to reach out to us too, we have information if you need it on Possibilities Hand and Miss Phoebe Browne here. As soon as we have the website link, we will also communicate it across our platform. Thank you so much for being with us, and we'll see you next week with another episode of EduTalk. Walk good, everybody. Bye.